it's Gabby Fe. Welcome back to my podcast. You may have seen my viral videos on The Shade Room, Real Toronto News, The Hollywood Reporter, etc., etc. We have a very special guest today, Hala the Hustler.
Yes.
She is a plus-size model, a painter, I just found out, a photographer, and we're going to get straight into it. Before we get to Hala, though, I do have an Am I the Asshole story that I want to share with the group. So... and we're going to give our opinions on it.
Yes.
All right. So, am I the asshole for wanting to give my fiance an ultimatum that if he doesn't go to counseling, we will not be getting married? So, to give some backstory, I think my fiance hates women. And here's why. Me and my fiance met online. We've been dating for a year. We got engaged about 6 months ago, and we decided to move in together and plan a small wedding locally. We both work to provide for ourselves and keep our households running smoothly. And although my fiance makes more money than me, I still contribute to be able to provide for our honeymoon and household items. And I want to be very clear. I love my fiance very much, and we communicate very well. And I've never been happier in a relationship thus far. He helps me out around the house, and he gives me money to pamper myself and do things that I enjoy. He gives me space when I need it and is very supportive of my goals and dreams. He also knows how to contribute to the household. Our intimacy is phenomenal and always has been. I have no major complaints. But the reason I think my fiance hates women is because of the way he talks about single women when we're out in public, and the way he refers to women when he's talking about something that he does not like about them. He often uses derogatory language to describe women and expressed his disgust. I always stop him to let him know that what he is saying is wrong and very weird. He also watches those weird-ass podcasts of the red pill community and men talking negatively about women. Even though I do agree with some of his ideas and gender roles, I still don't like the way he views women. He even makes fun of my single life before I met him. I was not super promiscuous, but that really doesn't matter. I was single and I acted like I was single.
Period.
Now, here is where I think the problem started. When my fiance was 8 years old, he was consistently abused by a babysitter until he was 12. She was in her 40s and he doesn't talk about it much. And I don't ask or pry because I know it's painful and embarrassing. I'm not even sure if this woman is still alive. And sometimes I think it might have been a family member. When he does mention it or bring it up, I do ask very vague questions, trying not to make him uncomfortable. I truly think his hatred for women stems from his abuse. I suggested therapy and counseling because he also suffered from PTSD from a horrible car accident and serving in the military and being discharged due to his injury. As of now, he shuts me down when I mention therapy, and I'm clear to not make it all about his abuse, but because of his PTSD too. It's gotten to a point where he wakes up because of his nightmares, and he also does not sleep, which affects his work in our relationship. He is now getting irritated with my mention of therapy in relation to his lack of sleep and nightmares. I suffer from anxiety myself, and I've been in therapy on and off since the age of 16, and I'm 31 now. I'm very pro-therapy and pro-mental health. I truly believe that everyone can benefit from some type of therapy. I told my fiance he's not the only person that has gone through what he's gone through, and that is not his fault, and he needs to free himself from his pain by getting help. Although I know that therapy is something that someone has to be ready to do themselves, I want to give him an ultimatum. And I know it's wrong, and maybe I shouldn't, but I really think his hatred for women is really scary. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand being assaulted as a child can have long-term, life-changing effects, but am I wrong for wanting to give him an ultimatum that he needs counseling or we will not get married at this time? We don't plan on having children, but I want him to be healthy for himself first and then for me. I should say that he isn't physically or mentally abusive to me in any way, and he takes good care of me so well, and I can't lie, I do feel very unattracted to him when he talks negatively about women. And at this point in time, I don't know what to do. Am I wrong for giving him an ultimatum? What do you think?
No, I feel like everyone is so scared to go to therapy, and I don't get it. Like, if it could even potentially better you, why not try? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, even just the potential for self-betterment. So no. And yeah, I think that would end up reflecting in her relationship.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I am a full believer in therapy. I've gone to therapy on and off. I love therapy. But I'm going to play devil's advocate. So I talked to some men, like even like a couple of my brothers, I have like 4 brothers, but a couple of my brothers, family members, when I suggest they go to therapy, they're just like, maybe therapy works for you because like how you deal with things and you like to talk it out in your personality, but it doesn't really have the same effect on me. Like, I don't feel like I would benefit from talking to a stranger about my problems. I'd rather talk to like my best friend or someone I know, or, you know what I mean? Like, so people like have those like ideas too. I feel like a therapy is great because I love to unload, but I also love to listen. And like, if I could do anything else that I wouldn't do now, like I model, I do things like that. But if I wasn't a model, people ask me what I would do, I would be a therapist because I love to listen to people and I love to like hear people out and stuff. But for this situation, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for this guy because like obviously he's been through a lot. He has a lot of trauma, a lot of pain. I'm surprised that he's even able to be in a functional relationship with this woman, not be abusive towards her, not treat her poorly, and like be really good to her when he has all of these like personal issues that he's dealing with. I feel like he would benefit from therapy, but if he's like one of those guys who are like, oh, I don't need to go to therapy, then I feel like he needs to have some kind of confidant that's not his woman that he can talk this out with, because it will strain.
But who else is equipped? That's my issue. Like, I feel like, and I've done therapy too. I'm even in family therapy right now. And I'm in it with my dad, and he's very like hesitant sometimes. He's like, this is stupid. I don't need this. We don't need it. You know, but like, who better than like someone who is qualified to do it though? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, and that's like my dad's thing too. He's like, talk it out, or we'll talk to someone about it. But it's like, they're not qualified to actually give us that. Like, are you gonna, you know, we make sure to learn from expertise. So why like do we think a friend can just do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, I don't think she's crazy at all. You can be the devil's advocate, but it's a no for me. It's a no for me. Like, yeah. Because also, now this is my thing. If he goes once, twice, hates it, fine. But at least he tried. And I do feel like in relationships on a deeper level, like compromise is so important. So like, do it to make your wife shut up. Like, honestly, even if you, like, I tell my dad that all the time. Well, guess what? You can't, like, I don't say we have to go to therapy now because he goes. And that was my thing before. In the past, it was like, Dad, we need therapy. We need therapy. Now he goes, I can't say that, you know? So like, it actually gets me to shut up too. And then
I love that. Because like getting your family to go to therapy and do family therapy, like my family has attempted, like a couple of my family members have attempted to get us to go to family therapy, but they're so, like, a lot of my family members so against therapy. I don't know if it's a culture thing or what, but they just do not like the idea of putting our business out there and letting people know our business. And I'm just like, well, healing comes when things come to light. You just got to express yourself. You know, people have troubles and go through problems. Like, we all have something we're dealing with. Like, therapy is nothing to be ashamed about. Like, it's just not, you know?
That's my thought too. If he tries it and hates it, you know, once or twice, I'll even just say twice.
Yeah.
You know, go once, switch therapist if you don't like, try it.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, try it. Go once. If you didn't like the therapist, switch, go again. If you still don't like it, fine. You know? Right. And then also ask for what you want. Like, we were very particular. We wanted a Black woman therapist, like, period. My dad knew his daughters would be more comfortable with a Black woman, and he has respect for Black women. Like, so for us, that was important. And truthfully, we didn't feel like a white therapist could handle us. And whether they could or not, you know, whether that's a racial bias we have or something, you know, like, it helped us be comfortable too. We all wanted that. And
is your dad Black?
Yeah.
Is your mom Black?
Yeah, both of my parents are Black and white. So
they're both mixed.
They're both mixed, so actually.
You're mixed.
Yeah, but I don't have one white parent or one Black parent.
Oh, so they're both biracial.
I identify as a Black woman because I always say, like, I didn't get raised by a white mom or Black dad. Like, both of them had color in them. I have, like, and then my family's from the Caribbean too. So
which islands?
My mom is from St. Lucia. My dad's from St. John.
No way.
So that's another dimension why I'm not gonna lie. I really don't say I'm mixed because, like, I didn't have a white American parent or a Black American parent either, and all my family was raised around Black people. You know what I mean? Like, so some of the racial dynamics that I feel happen to mixed girls, I didn't really have.
Oh, girl, I feel you because and especially when you said you're from North Carolina, that's shocking because I'm Caribbean too, and there's a lot of different cultural differences between Black American, Caribbean Caribbean American. Yeah. And there's like a lot of things that I don't relate to with some of my Black friends. I'm like, oh, maybe it's because I'm Caribbean.
Yeah, but then I definitely don't relate to white Americans, so I definitely fall gosh, I don't even know if I've ever said in public I'm mixed, to be honest. I don't
Really?
say I'm mixed. Yeah. Only because, and I probably shouldn't even go on a rant saying this, but I just feel like growing up, I had a lot of mixed friends and they all had like a white mom and a black dad. And just the dynamic I don't relate to, like with that. Like I didn't have one white parent. Both of my parents are clearly people of color, you know? And so I just don't feel like my experiences were limited to having a white parent.
How did your parents end up in North Carolina?
So technically just financially, for financial. So they immigrated to the States at a young age eventually because the white parent wanted them to have U.S. citizenship, which was probably smart, especially with my mom being from a third world country. They valued education, you know?
Yes.
So they both immigrated to the States and then just kind of traveled a lot with whatever my grandparents' jobs were, and then they met, and then they had the same DNA, which was like basically crazy, you know, like they both had a white parent and then one from the Caribbean. They had both just immigrated. My dad got my mom pregnant young, and yeah.
So you're a first generation American kid.
Yep.
Just like me. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
'Cause if it's meant to be, then it'll be a love song.